work alongside our military and veterans for the past 25 years. And I'm proud of the work that I've done. I am so happy to be here sharing with you today. So let's get started. First off, what I would like to do is I'd love for you to raise your hand if making new friends as an adult is weird. Okay, I can't see you, but I would imagine that you're raising your hand. Well, wait a minute, let's be serious because you're sitting behind your computer, probably by yourself, so you're not raising your hand. But I do imagine that you're either nodding your head or doing that internal nod inside because you typically making friends as an adult can be downright awkward. We oftentimes want to hang on to those old friends that we have. We mourn old friends. And speaking about old friends, at the beginning of the year, I attended a conference and was able to catch up with several old friends. Some of these friendships went back 20 years. They were deep friendships. We talked, we shared stories, we laughed, we stayed up till late, and we each said that this is great. Let's do this more often. How many times with your friends have you said the exact same thing? You've been out for a night, you guys are having a really great time. Maybe you're playing games, you're doing something, maybe we do driveway sits at home. No matter what you do, you say, man, we need to do this more often. But then here I am almost a year later, and I've probably only spoken with one of those people that were at the conference. And it's just what happens. It's our lives. The experience reminded me of the Brantley Gilbert song, Old Friends. In the song, he says, because you can't make old friends, you can't turn back time, you can't make old memories or partners in crime. The good Lord knows all of those remember whens, the good old days and never agains. Been through it all, like it's never going to end. You can't make old friends. I love these lyrics because it really just it kind of sets in your soul. It brings back old memories. But isn't it ironic that we feel these things deeply, but life still gets in the way? We have careers, we have families, we have new interests, we move to different parts of the world. And this is what happens with old friends. Oftentimes we tend to just grow apart, and it's not because we don't like each other anymore, it's just because life gets in the way. What I believe is missing from curriculum in school, as well as transition services for our veterans, is how to make friends as an adult. It's not like when we were little, where we walked over unannounced to the neighbor and asked if they wanted to play ball. You might be asking yourself right now, is this something that we really need to worry about? Why is making friends important for us? And this sounds like a strange topic for veterans. And I get it, but this is a topic for all of us. And I'm going to be transparent with you because of the season of life that I'm in. I'm going to talk to you from the perspective of an empty nester. In fact, here's the young lady I just sent off to college, and from someone who has devoted almost her entire life serving the Army Ranger community in various capacities, most recently coordinating various aspects surrounding the Best Ranger competition. I'm sure that many of you have experienced being around an Army Ranger. They divide themselves into two categories, strong ranger or smart ranger. But regardless of the category, I found that one thing to permeate through the ranks, and that is that they tend to say, I can do it. It's just a part of the spirit, it's part of the ethos, it's a part of the mindset. And even when they may be ill-equipped or lack information, the general spirit is still, I can do it. This is what I love about the community. I mean, they taught me that we can jerry-rig just about anything with 100-mile-per-hour tape. And the best moments, though, are when they're not saying that I can do it. It's after going through the motions, they look toward me and they say, I need help. We have tons of I can do it moments in our life, but we also have moments where we want and need to say, I need help. With that, it's important to recognize and understand that there is chaos in isolation. Why? Because we are wired for connection. We are wired for close, deep relationships. Sometimes we kid ourselves to say that we're not alone. But what we're actually talking about here is not being lonely, and that's a bit different. For example, think of yourself sitting in a car on a busy road in standstill traffic. You're in your car, you're completely alone, but you're surrounded by a sea of other vehicles, right? So that's the definition. You're surrounded, but you're still alone and you're isolated. The question I want to ask you is, do you know people and they know you? Do you have people to call to share bad news? Do you have people you know what's or do you have people that know what's going on behind your closed doors? And do you have people that understand the baggage that you're carrying? This notion of connection, it's biblical, it's theological, and it's scientific. It's the trifecta of health. The longest running study of all time is a Harvard study, 9-year-old study that's called What Makes the Good Life? And the conclusion is surprising. John Tyson says it best. John Tyson is actually a man who talks about men and community a lot. And he says the best use of our time for emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual health is investing in deepening our relationships. That investment that is, or our happiness is the return on investment. For this reason, I'm leading an initiative. I told you about my background in the Army Ranger community, but I'm leading an initiative to build a Ranger Legacy Center. Why? Because I want to create a space for holistic connection. I believe in this so much that I believe this deep connection space preserves freedom. And I believe this is how we change the world ultimately. When we're connected, we inspire the hearts of other people. So I want to honor Rangers, but also give them a place for connection and purpose. In my career, I have always stood on the values and importance of connection. I believe that social events are better than main events. Main events you go to watch, social events, you are a part of it. Example, in the Best Stranger competition, when the competition's going on, what my responsibilities were is to create various different social events where we could bring the defense industry together with civilians, together with family members, together with former competitors, together with active duty. And we bring everybody together and we socialize and build community and share in a heart space. Setting a culture of meaningful relationships in everything we do is important. It's some of the most important work that we can do because when our lives are woven together, we just tend to smooth out the edges. Unfortunately, there's been a massive shift in our society. In culture, we've shifted from collective committee mindset to personal ambition is everything, right? We can point to many things as being the reason behind this shift or why this shift has taken place. And many point to technology, and probably rightfully so, when in fact a major shift happened from the 1970s that has amplified disconnection and nuclear family erosion. Do you know what happened in the 70s? I'll take another pregnant pause. That's right, it was TVs. I'm sure most of you were thinking that. Sociologists agree that TVs keep us at home Think about this. In the 1950s, 20% of households had a TV. In the late 1970s, or by the late 1970s, 98% of households had televisions. In fact, in my home, I have a 21 square foot home. It's not considered large by any stretch of the imagination. And when my daughter's home, we have 4 televisions. And then we have our pads, and then we have our telephones, all of this thing to keep our heads down and keep us in the home. A year or so ago, Vivek Murthy, who is our Surgeon General, says that we have an epidemic of loneliness and isolation, and it's a public health crisis. Did any of you know that he said this? It's crazy. He says this is a public health crisis. And he went on to say that if we fail to connect and live more connected, we will pay an ever increasing price in the form of individual and collective health and well being. We will continue to splinter and divide until we can no longer stand as a community or country. Instead of coming together to take on great challenges before us, we will further retreat to our corners, we'll be angry, sick, and alone. Now, just out of curiosity, we just recently had a presidential election. Did you see this or experience this in the most recent election in any of the behaviors around you, or maybe even within yourself? I wanted to share this with you. I know it's not only a veteran issue, but this country is your legacy. And you, our veterans, have the opportunity to help lead a new social norm. You can show us how to work every day to be meaningfully connected. You can lead the way. So, what is the takeaway? Being isolated is not good. When isolation happens, it looks like complete chaos. It manifests as chaos in our lives. Do we experience this in the veteran community? Absolutely. Do we see veterans succumbing to addiction? Mm-hmm. And do we see too many veterans taking their own lives? Do many members of the veteran population isolate, insulate themselves, being less open to ideas, and demand independence? So, what has happened? To summarize, we are lonely. It's not good, and it's hurting us as a community. We live with so much tension and apathy in our culture. Never before have we been so isolated. We watch other people's stories, but lack the muscle for our own storytelling. We devalue the importance of learning from each other. Now, you're here today, you're listening to this, so maybe this doesn't apply to you, but overall, we devalue the importance of learning from each other. So, the questions I want to ask you in regards to Are You Lonely are: when was the last time someone came into your house without knocking? I don't mean breaking and entering. I mean somebody just came over, just a good friend, and walks in the door and doesn't knock. When did you last share a minor celebration? When was the last time you were comfortable sharing something that was real and uncomfortable? And when was the last time someone challenged you in your thinking face to face and you received it, you provided feedback, and you responded without there being a whole lot of tension? Who do you do life with? Loneliness has become so normalized. We don't even know that it's happening. We should sit in it. We can't ignore it. There's a stigma that says that if we lean into this, if we lean into connection, then we'll be needy. But veterans know how awesome life can be connected. You lived it. You did life with each other for so many formative years of your life. You deserve to get back to order and structure. but we need a different playbook than the one that the world has given us. We need a different playbook than transition services is giving us. It takes a lot of courage to acknowledge that you are lonely, to take your desire and activate to get back into deep relationships and to get into order. It takes work. It's hard work. Adult friendships, adult relationships are work. But here are some actual things that you can do. Instead of thinking, what can I get from this relationship? Flip it, flip the script, and look at it as, how can I leverage me for their benefit? Oh my gosh, this is so stinking powerful. If you do this one thing as you engage people, it's amazing. Another is, be the friend that you wish you had. That's one of the things that kind of talk through with my daughter as she's going through growing pains, is that people don't always act the way that we want them to. So we have to behave and act like the people that we wish that we had in our lives. And if you want to know people, you need to know them. Schedule meetups and just be curious. Find ways to contribute. The importance of contributing and having purpose is providing hope. The return on that is it provides you hope. So how do we practice this? What do you do? So where else do we go to get information nowadays, right? AI is mainstream. I went to ChatGPT. And I used the prompt, how do we make friends as adults in modern society? And what AI gives me, it gives me a long list, a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of words, but you can really narrow it down to be consistent, be intentional, and be yourself. So show up. That's a big thing. That's the biggest part of the battle. Like, let's show up. Show up with what's on your calendar, but leave blank spaces on your calendar. Leave those blank spaces for folks to be able to fill in randomly. You can't afford not to do this. Put this high on your list of priorities. It's just as important as scheduling and exercising. A lot of us has gotten good about going to the gym or going to take walks. It's just important to schedule in time for connection. And then the other is be real. So we said show up, but we want to be real. Something recently that came to light in the veteran community that I wanted to share with you, it's all about being real, is there is a new show, a new what do I want to say? Comedy, situation comedy called Office Joe. If you haven't heard about it, Google it, look it up. And Office Joe just released. You can stream it on Amazon. You can buy DVDs. I think there's other ways that you can get it, but Amazon is a great place to look. And Office Joe is all about a guy named Joe who is transitioning from his time in service, and he's settling into kind of a corporate culture environment. And it's funny and it's authentic and the humor is excellent. And I think that it will really resonate with you. So go see Office Joe. But he struggles with that, being real and hanging on to that. Am I just a product of the environment that I came from in my military service? So my encouragement is that you show up and be accepted. Accept others, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have to accept this in other people. This is uncomfortable. The only way that we grow is when we are uncomfortable. So go ahead, lean into being uncomfortable. And we often have have times of fearing being rejected or exposed because we have an innate feeling of needing to be known, loved, and accepted. But you need to show up and be real anyway. So just to real quickly wrap everything up is, in summary, we are wired for social connection. This improves our personal health and it's vital for social health, right? I hope that you take on projects and challenges that connect you. and I want to be connected with you. So please reach out. And if there's anything that I can do for you, that I can leverage to benefit for you, or reach out so that I can just get to know you better, I would reach out to you, but I don't know who all is on here. So you have my information, and you can reach out to me. And I really hope that out of this 20-minute conversation, that you were able to take just a nugget of information that you can apply to your life today, and that you're inspired to be more connected.
So when I met Ryan Hunt and Annette Wittenberger, they kept talking about this amazing idea that they had previously been successful at, but it had been paused and they wanted to keep going with it. And they were talking about how veterans can learn resources about entrepreneurship, education, really connecting with our fellow veteran community and being successful. So obviously I wanted to be a part of that. And I am really excited to be a part of 2025 because we are going to have even more amazing speakers and resources